Hi guys, it's Dustin. Welcome back to the Park Your Boat podcast. Thank you so much for parking your boat with me today. I've had a lovely Sunday morning. This is my first time with my new filming schedule where I'm filming this podcast on a Sunday. Let's see if this works out because usually I'll film like on a Monday or Tuesday or like on a weekday. It's been really good. I lit a candle. I was listening to the Faye Webster Tiny Desk concert, which is lovely. I have one more song left to listen to on that, so I'm excited to finish that after I finish recording this. I recently got a new candle from Target. I got it yesterday. Love it. Love it so much. I was like holding off on buying candles because usually I just like light candlesticks that are unscented because they're really cheap, and also I just like the ambiance of a candle. But lately I've been wanting like a scented candle. I've been lighting a lot of incense, and honestly, okay, I like incense, but the smoke is a little bit too much for me sometimes. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It'd be making me suffocate in my room. And also, it's been cold outside, so I can't open my window. So I feel like incense is more of a summer vibe, while candles are more of a winter vibe? And I have so much incense that I had to get through, and I don't know. But I got like a ginger black tea scented candle from Target. It is lovely. I love it so much. It smells so good. Or every time I go to Target, I always go to the candle section and smell the candles. It's like a routine for me when I go to Target. And this one I've been like eyeing for a while, and I just didn't want to buy it because I was like, like, do I even need a candle? Like, it feels like I've really been like trying to like limit what I buy and been very stingy with what I'm buying because I'm just trying to save money right now. And also, I just find that I waste a lot of money on random shit that I don't need. After the move, I was like, oh my gosh, I have so much stuff. So I've been trying to like sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace, like all my little tiny trinkets and stuff that I don't like anymore. I've been selling on Facebook Marketplace for like $5 each and stuff. Surprisingly, I've sold a good amount of trinkets. So I have a little bit of pocket cash for that so that I can like buy stuff that I actually want and need for my room and like things that I actually want to invest in instead of collecting all these mini things that I don't need. Another thing is like I have so many fragrances. So many fragrances and I only wear like 3 of them. I'm trying to like sell those, but here's the annoying thing about selling fragrances. Bro, I'm trying to post this shit on on Depop and it doesn't let me. Like Depop doesn't let you sell used fragrances. And granted, like these fragrances I'm selling, they're practically full. Yes, they're used. Like I sprayed them like maybe 3 times. I've used them maybe 3 times. And I'm trying to sell some like Mason Margiela replica fucking fragrance. I've only used it like 3 times. So I don't want to lie in the description and be like, oh, it's unused. So I say, oh, like only used a few times, blah, blah, blah. And they still will delete my listing. So I'm like, how am I going to sell these fragrances? Because I have so many that I don't use. And like also Facebook Marketplace does the same thing too. So I don't really know. I don't really know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll try again. I just don't want to get my Depop and Facebook Marketplace deleted because I love those things. So I'm like, on the more positive note though, before Depop could delete my listing, I made a sale on the perfume that I was selling. So either way, I did get it sold. I did ship it out. I'm a little conflicted or scared that I'm not going to get paid the money because I still was able to print out the label and stuff, so I just don't know if the listing got deleted, if I'm still gonna get that money, but hopefully I still do. I think I will. Lunar New Year was this past week as well. Pretty chill. Not the best Lunar New Year, I will say. Like, it was kind of like whatever. Whenever Lunar New Year falls on a weekday, I feel like it's just never that exciting. So I just went to the Bay Area, saw some family. That's pretty much it. Really, really boring. Also, there was some like family stuff that was happening. As you guys know, my family dynamics are a little bit toxic, so there was some family stuff happening, and that kind of killed the vibe as well. And I don't know, I just feel like we always go to the Bay Area for holidays, and I just feel like I've outgrown it, where nothing really happens, and it's not very exciting anymore. So I'm like, do I even go to these things anymore? I don't know. I just feel like it's important because family or whatever, and it's tradition, but it's just not fun. The vibes were off the entire day. So that being said, new cover art. Did you guys notice I have a new profile picture? Did you guys notice that? Did you guys notice that? And did you guys notice if you are an audio listener on Spotify, did you guys notice there's a new cover art? If you didn't, take a look at that right now. Right now. Turn your phone on and look at that screen, bruh. Yep, we got a new cover art. I decided that we deserved some cover art. We deserved a profile picture because, like, on YouTube, my profile picture was just like a P. It was just like nothing. There was no profile picture. So I was like, you know what? We're now a month into the podcast. I think we deserve a little bit of branding. So I commissioned my friend Amber to make me a little clay figurine of myself. a little clay character of me. That is now our profile picture. I edited myself, so she sent me the clay character pictures, and then well, actually, intro not yet coming. Intro will come eventually because I had her make a stop motion for me. So I have like this video of the clay figure, like of driving the car, like a stop motion video, and that's gonna be the intro. But I was editing it this past week, and I just wasn't really in the mood to edit it, you know. So there's gonna be a bit of a delay on the actual intro part. Also, I'm not like the best editor in the world, especially when it comes to like technical editing like this. Like my forte is more like vlogs and artsy montages, not really making an actual intro for a podcast, not actual production stuff. You know, I'm no professional. Yeah, I'm still trying to also figure out what I want the intro to even look like. Like, do I want certain text? Do I want a logo on there? Because right now it's just the stop motion, and then I have to figure out like what I want to put in the background, and then I have to draw the background. Like, it's all me. This is a one-man team plus my friend Amber who made the clay figure in stop motion. Like, I have to like design it myself and draw it myself and actually pull out my artistic side again and like do that. So for now, we're only getting like the profile picture, the cover art, the actual intro. Maybe next episode, maybe next month. I don't know. Okay, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. It's also kind of like a big commitment to like the background and stuff and like the color palette I want to brand this podcast, and also the music. That's the hardest part. Is honestly, I think that's what's holding me back is the music because I I don't have the budget to commission someone to make me like a little jingle. So I was like looking on Epidemic Sound to see if there's any music, and so far I've not found something that fits the vibe. And also I don't know what kind of intro music I want, because that's a big commitment. Like once you pick an intro music, like that is your song, that is gonna be your branding for your podcast forever. You know, obviously you can always switch it up, but like I kind of want to commit to something, so I'm a little bit scared to do that. And like I kind of want like a friend of mine, like I might call in a few favors, ask around to see if someone can like make me a little jingle. But it's like also I feel like what if they make something I don't like, you know, because I don't even know what I want. And committing to an intro music is very, very scary. So I'm going to take my time on that a little bit. I don't know why, but I feel like the past year I've always rushed on anything creative I do when I used to be so perfectionistic. And I think I was so perfectionistic where I was like, you know what? I need to dissolve this perfectionism. And like I went too far the opposite end where now I kind of rush my creativity. But I need to like also be proud of the things I'm making. And I think that's a reflection of like the things I made this past year, my YouTube videos and stuff like that. Art cannot be rushed, and that is something I'm trying to reinstill in myself again. I'm trying to find a balance between my perfectionism and also still releasing stuff at a decent amount of time. It's hard, like trying to like post content weekly, trying to like do things and release things, especially with like these days, like you got to keep pushing stuff out to stay relevant, and it's really, really hard. It's hard to like constantly be pushing stuff out like that in a fast manner, because then I feel like the quality really falls through. But anyway, intro will come soon, but I hope you guys like the cover art and the profile picture. I think is so cute. I haven't yet picked up the figure from my friend Amber, which by the way, if you guys want to check out her stuff, it's at Ambapop Art. So if you guys want to follow her, check out her art. She has so many paintings and stuff like that. She's one of my bestest friends, known her for years. She is so lovely and talented, but I need to pick up the clay figure, and I'm gonna like display it on the shelf back here. If you're a visual watcher right now, I'm gonna put it on my shelves back here so you guys can like see in the background. The cover art is like a clay figure version of me driving a red convertible, a clay red convertible. I just love it so much. I just think the color palette is perfect. Like I'm wearing like a little green top, the red convertible, of course, because I love me a convertible, and also it's like park your butt. It's related to driving. When I'm rich, I want to get like a convertible. That is like one of my goals. When I'm rich, these are the things I'm getting. I'm getting a private chef, and I'm getting a vintage convertible. Then I do have to learn how to drive stick shift, so maybe a stick shift instructor as well, so I can learn how to drive it. Yeah, that is actually, I don't think all convertibles are stick shift, but if I want a vintage one, yes, but I can get a more modern one. I love a convertible, one of my dreams to get one, and I love drives and night drives and stuff with my friends. So what I did was, because she sent me like a the clay figure stop motion with the blue screen in the back. So I just took that and then I scanned this fabric that I have that's like on my wall right now. It's like this plaid gingham fabric. I scanned that, I put that in the background, and then I drew out the lettering myself. So if you guys are wondering the font, couldn't tell you. I literally just drew it myself. And then that's it. And then I wrote with Dustin on the license plate. And that's the cover. I really love it. Let me know what you guys think. I think it's really perfect for this podcast and the branding of it. And the color scheme is so me, I feel like. And I really love it. Also, I really love stop motion as well. I also love the like kind of, it's not a creepy vibe, but there's definitely like an off-putting, quirky attribute to the look of the cover art, which I love. I really, really adore it. If you guys are a Patreon subscriber, you guys already saw the stop motion. At least the raw version of it with like the blue screen in the background, not the unedited version of the stop motion intro. I shared it on one of the extended episodes. Go to my Patreon if you want to show me a little bit extra support. Every single week, I post a 30-minute extended episode of the podcast, and also there's extra content on there. There's, for example, the unedited version of the stop motion intro, but also there's extra pictures, extra videos, extra like content I made. Like I made a vlog where I went to go see Wicked. I have a mukbang with my sister. I have like other older podcasts where I'm like spilling a bunch of tea. Like I described my first date that I ever went on. I described just like drama this past summer, how I got led on, stuff like that. I'm spilling. And also there's like quite a few of you guys on there. So I'm really, really appreciative of everyone who subscribed to the Patreon. You guys are so cool, and I'm so grateful for you guys. And also for one of the segments on this podcast, Getting Deep in the Passenger Seat, I take questions from my patrons. Today, I want to talk about the idea of being mysterious. We all know this. If you are chronically online, but also I don't think you have to be chronically online to know this. I feel like everyone aspires to be cool. I think as a society, especially with social media now just a part of our everyday lives, being perceived is a constant thing that's happening. Like we are constantly being perceived, and a lot of us care about how we're perceived. And even if you have a healthy relationship with perception and like you don't care what other people think, you're still a part of what's happening in culture and how we're constantly just being perceived. And I feel like a big thing right now is branding ourselves as human beings. Even if you're not a content creator, even if you're not, I don't know, you don't care about that stuff, even if you're offline. Actually, I feel like people who are offline, who have no social media, they probably don't deal with this. Because I think a big root source of this and why we're affected by this is due to social media, but how we present ourselves online. And I feel like that has leached into how we are in real life, where we now subconsciously or not subconsciously feel this need to brand ourselves and package ourselves in a certain way. And for example, if that wasn't clear, like I feel like indie bitches, like I feel like a lot of people who love indie music, they feel this need to dress a certain way. They feel this need to be unique. They feel this need to brand themselves a certain way and like shape themselves a certain way. Does that make sense? Like I feel like we are curating ourselves into and molding and boxing ourselves in to an aesthetic. I feel like there's so many video essays on this that you can go watch yourself. And also I've done a video about perception called Please Perceive Me, if you guys want to go watch that. I also feel like this topic is there's so many points you can talk about when it comes to this topic. Like there's so many ways you can go. Right now, I'm going to just talk about being mysterious. Like that's what I want to talk about. Being mysterious and cool, I feel like is a trope that we all kind of joke about online. It's something that, strange enough, people like aspire to be. Like I always see those TikToks that's like, oh, like when you want to be mysterious, but you forget. Or when you want to be mysterious, but you can't shut up. Or like when you're at a party, but then you forget you want to be mysterious. Have you guys seen those TikToks? Usually someone is like dancing, laughing, being really loud, and then they're like, oh, oh. And then they like chill out a bit. And obviously that's a joke, but there's also truth in that joke. People do aspire to be mysterious. And also people who are mysterious are looked at as more cool, desirable, attractive. When someone is mysterious, they're like very alluring. They get a lot of attention. And I see people who want to be mysterious. It's like a bitch pulling up to a concert, like a One Direction concert, and reading a book because they're not like other girls. You know what I mean? Like that is what I'm talking about. Because you're just so mysterious. Like, what do you mean you're reading a book at a concert? Like, Harry Styles wants you. Harry Styles wants you so bad. Ugh, we love a bookworm. Yes. I don't really know where this all stems from as well. I think it's just a natural thing that has happened where we just witness it and we're like, oh, like that person's real mysterious. I'm really drawn to them because it's like, oh, what you don't know and you get curious and you want to know more kind of vibe. And also movies. I feel like movies has such a big impact on our culture and how we've developed because, you know, the hot person in every movie is always like really mysterious. If you think about it, in a lot of movies, like the love interest or the person that the protagonist has a crush on, you never really know that much about that person in the movies. Have you guys noticed that? Like if you look at like early 2000s rom-coms or stuff like that or like high school type coming of age movies, you never really know that much about their crush or the love interest. They're always just really mysterious and cool. And I feel like that has like rotted us into like wanting that and thinking that's amazing. And I'm not saying like being mysterious is like a bad thing. I think the hardiness. Yes, is that a word? No, but the try hard of it all. That is what I'm talking about. Like everyone these days is trying so hard to be mysterious and hot. I don't know if it's just like me just constantly online and witnessing this stuff and also being in the entertainment space, but you notice this in all different aspects. First of all, celebrities. There's this culture in celebrities of like being mysterious, not sharing anything. And I think a big part of that is being private because being a celebrity, you are constantly being looked at. People are constantly up in your shit. You get no privacy. So the being mysterious helps at least protect somewhat of privacy that you have. So I understand that, but I also think there's this pretentious culture when it comes to being a celebrity and being mysterious because it's a bit elitist, you know? Which is a big jump. I know. You're probably like, what the fuck? How did we get here? How did we get here? But I'm trying to like just dive right in here. Like I don't want to just like dabble here, you know? I'm just going to jump right in and but there is like this thing about like there's more value in being that mysterious celebrity. Does that make sense? Like, oh, like they're so mysterious, so they must be more important. They must be more cool. They must be more intelligent. That's so weird to me because I'm like, why? Like, why? You know nothing about them. All they're doing is like not sharing stuff about themselves. All they're doing is like being mysterious. And and this gets into and this gets into one of the big points I want to talk about, which is the relatable influencer slash YouTuber trope to pretentious luxury fashion show going pipeline. And it is very, very prevalent in today. I don't know when I feel like this shift has only happened within the past few years. I want to say since the pandemic. I think this is when the shift has happened because I feel like pre-pandemic content creator and influencer and YouTube culture was so fun. Like, do you guys agree with me? I remember like pre 2020 YouTube or even 2020 and past that or before that was so much fun. Everyone was so relatable. Everyone was just creative and it was a community, you know? It was so much fun. And now I feel like it's turned into this really also granted TikTok happened as well, but I feel like social media has become this like pretentious place for rich people. Or like I don't like everyone is just so curated, I guess. And I can't think of any other words but pretentious right now for some reason cuz like my mind is just blocked right now, but like I don't know, I just feel like that wasn't super prevalent prior 2020 and now I feel like that is kind of every freaking content creator and influencer. I want to say more influencer. I don't want to say YouTubers because I feel like YouTubers, it's a bit harder to be that trope because with being a YouTuber, you actually have to talk. You actually have to, you know, show your personality. You actually have to be entertaining. While with like Instagram, with TikTok, you don't have to talk. You could just be aesthetic and be pretty, and that's all you need. So I want to say it's more relevant to those platforms. For example, if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me bring up some examples. And when I bring up these people, I mean no hate at all. Okay, I love these people. At the time, I loved them when they were, like, making content and stuff, but I think they are really good examples of what I'm talking about when it comes to this pipeline. So some YouTubers or I'm gonna bring up is Best Dressed. I think she's a really, really good example of this, where she was that really relatable YouTuber. She was this really creative girl, and would share, her life online, and she was really personable. And now she doesn't post on YouTube anymore, which I know it was like due to like a lot of reasons. I'm pretty sure it was like mental health, but also she had a stalking situation and stuff like that. But even that aside, I feel like that doesn't mean I don't think that was the cause of this pipeline. I think it was because she still posts on social media. And I think there's a way to post on social media where if you were in that situation, obviously you don't have to share like all of your life, but also I think you could still be personable. You could still talk in your like she doesn't talk in her stories anymore. She doesn't talk, period. Like I don't remember the last time I've heard Best Dressed talk. I don't follow her anymore, so maybe she like posts on her stories and stuff, but from what I see, yeah, I don't think she talks anymore. Like when was the last time she's talked about something? You know what I'm saying? Um, and other people I'm gonna name is Nailea Devora, Emma Chamberlain, Moyo Mawahini. All these people were like really like relatable girlies, and then they kind of like fell into this pipeline of not sharing much about their life anymore. Um, they all kind of fell into like a more darker aesthetic. Have you guys noticed that? Like they all like kind of went into this like cleaner aesthetic, and they started working with like I don't know, high-end brands, which, by the way, guys, this is a little bit of insider for you guys. A lot of high-end brands are not paying these people. Like, high-end brands don't really pay people because working with them is kind of enough of a payment. It's kind of exposure. Not saying that these people I listed are not getting paid. They might be getting paid, but a lot of other creators you see who are like going to fashion shows, they get sent like free luxury bags. They don't get paid to advertise that. Their payment is that item. But they go to fashion shows, they get invited to all these things and suddenly they just stop posting. They stop being personal, they stop sharing their lives, they stop being relatable, and they start falling into this like more unattainable image. And I know a lot of people hate this. I've seen a lot of hate on this. But I'm going to explain to you guys why this happens. Also, these are only some YouTubers, by the way, because I used to watch these YouTubers. I'm sure there's way more. And I don't mean to like call out girls only, because I know I just listed only girls. But honestly, I only really watch girl content creators. So like, what can I tell you? What can I tell you? We don't know what's happening in these people's lives. They might be like really freaking depressed, which seems to be what the vibe is for some of these people I just listed. Like they were just going through some mental health issues and that's why they just stopped sharing stuff, which makes sense. But another reason is right now, this is kind of the end goal for a lot of influencers and content creators. Even for me, like I see the appeal and it is one of my goals to like work with cool high-end brands. It is like a goal of mine to work in the fashion space and work with fashion brands and work with like freaking I don't know YSL and Coach because I love those brands so much. So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, like I would never blah blah, I would never become these people because I'm not gonna lie to you. Like if the opportunity came, I could see myself accidentally falling into this trope as well. And I don't blame these people for falling into this trope because it is such an appealing lifestyle. And it's much easier as a content creator as well because all you have to do is just like post something aesthetic and wearing something luxury and that's kind of your work. You get to creatively express yourself in that way. And I find the appeal of that. And I hope if or when I do fall into those spaces and work with brands like that, I hope I still keep my personality and I still am sharing, I'm still personable. And that people still enjoy watching me. Because I feel like I think that's the problem. It's not that these people are working with these brands and in these spaces. I think it's about how they go about it. Like, yes, like post this content, but also you could still be personal. You could still share stuff. You could still, be who you were and be yourself. And I think that's a big thing. It seems unauthentic. So I hope when I do work, because I don't want to say I don't want to ever work with like high end brands. Like you guys know me, I love fashion. I would love to have these opportunities, especially as a POC person, you know? Like, we uh, we never get invited to those spaces, so it would be such a privilege, but I hope I still remain myself. I hope I still don't lose myself in that. I don't just become a carbon copy of all these other people who are in those spaces, which leads me to my other point of why this happens and why this is happening. I noticed that a lot of European influencers naturally just are like this, are like that type of branding. Like I find a lot of European influencers are very, I don't know, they could have a small following, but they still are kind of on that vibe of like, oh, like I live a very luxurious lifestyle. I'm on a boat. I get invited to fashion shows. I get sent luxury things. I'm in the fashion space. And that's a big thing for like European influencers. And I find that these people I listed and other American influencers and relatable YouTubers and stuff are kind of just like trying to curate themselves into these European type of people, you know? Maybe it's for like romanticism. Maybe they just love the aesthetic of it and that's like chill. But um I also think a big reason of falling into this and shaping yourself in this way is because luxury brands love branding. Like they love a marketable person like that. They love like, in lack of better words, a boring person. They love people who look like they're like a nepo baby. You know, they love people who look like they are high end already. Being funny, being relatable, and posting that type of content doesn't really fit the branding of like fucking, I don't know. I'm not going to list any because I can't think of any right now, but like luxury brand. And that's a big reason why I feel like a lot of these content creators do this is because it gives them more opportunities to work with high end brands. I get it, but I don't know. I just feel like, why do we value this so much? Now I'm like kind of leaving the point of these influencers and this topic about influencers and that trope because I'm kind of bored of it already. But now going back to just being mysterious in general, why do we value this so much? And I'm going to speak to the brands here. Why does the brand value that so much? Why do they value being mysterious so much? Why do they value this high end look so much? And honestly, at the end of the day, I think it is elitism, especially when it comes to luxury. I think that is obviously elitism. And in the fashion space, okay, I love fashion, but let me tell y'all, the fashion space is so elitist. You know, it's like, so they will close the door behind them. Like they do not give a fuck. And it's so funny to me because I'm like, it's so conflicting for me because it's like I love fashion. I love these cool artistic spaces. I just wish they were more open for everybody. I wish like it was more accessible. I also understand at the same time because like having this exclusionary environment and having, oh, like you can't touch this, it makes it feel more important. It makes people more attracted to it, which again leads back to my mysterious point. Why do we care about these mysterious things that we can't obtain? I think it's just that. It's just that. Like we want things that we can't have. And I think that's a big reason why. That's why we love mysterious people. That's why we love just being mysterious in general. But I think it's stupid to just value that so much. I don't know. Like for me personally, I will forever want to be friends with someone who is loud and outspoken and completely themselves than someone who's like in the corner not talking to anybody and like pretentious, you know, and like trying to be mysterious. And like in reality, they're just boring. You know, like think about it. Think about it. Okay, my headphones are now off. Hold on. In reality, these quote unquote mysterious people are just boring. You're just boring, right? Because it's like, even if a mysterious person was interesting, like no one would know you're interesting. You're just kind of quiet. If I'm at a party, I would much rather mingle with someone who is fun and dancing and like, hey, you know, and like sharing stuff about themselves, being personal versus someone who's like in the corner being mysterious and like kind of having that like that pretentious energy, that pretentious vibe, and like, oh, I'm so mysterious and cool and you don't even know. I find that not attractive at all, like not enticing. Like you are just kind of weird to me. Granted, you could just be shy, but I'm talking about those people who are just trying to be mysterious or like just don't share a lot about themselves. I can't do that. Like I find that so unappealing. Like I do not want to talk to you. Even if I did talk to you, I feel like you wouldn't talk to me. Like you wouldn't, the conversation would be stale. And let me tell you guys, I've been in some spaces where I'm talking to these like quote unquote like those people who have like really aesthetic feeds on Instagram who like go to fashion shows. I've talked to some of those bitches and let me tell y'all, they're just as boring as you think. Let me just tell you guys that, okay? Not everybody, okay? Not everybody, okay? Whatever, but that's like me fucking saying not all men. Fuck that, okay? I'm just so sick of it. I'm so sick of us all putting these mysterious people on a pedestal because they do not deserve it. They do not deserve it. Unless they're actually like a genuinely cool person once you get to know them. But I'm talking about a certain person here, and I think you guys get the vibe I'm putting down. So I'm just gonna keep going. I just find these people boring. In reality, you're not mysterious. You are just boring, okay? Like, especially if you're trying to be this way. Like, just be yourself. Share stuff about yourself. Be personable. It's okay. We're human beings. Connect to one another, you know? And I find it so annoying. And I don't know if this is super niche to talk about, but it's what I wanted to talk about today. And it sucks because like I also I see the appeal in it, you know? Like I'm not gonna sit here and be a hypocrite, even though half the time I am a hypocrite. And sometimes I do want to be mysterious. Sometimes I do want to, but I think if any of you guys actually talk to me in person or have watched any of my actual videos and not just seen my Instagram, which I don't think my Instagram is very mysterious at all. Like you guys would know I'm like the least mysterious person ever. Like I would much rather make someone feel like when someone talks to me, I would much rather make them feel welcomed. I would and feel comfortable than preserve this mysterious branding I put on myself. It's just so weird when people do that. I hate it. I'm like, you're not you're not better than anyone because people know less about you. You're actually boring and you're unable to showcase your true self. And I'm just spitting the truth here, baby. Sorry about it. If you're offended, sorry about it. It's true. Again, I'm not talking about people who are introverts. I'm not talking about people who are shy. I'm not talking about people who do this unintentionally. Okay, I'm talking about those people who intentionally try to be mysterious, try to be this mysterious cool thing. It's just like it's tacky. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like all those content creators I mentioned, I don't follow anymore because like I'm just like I'm bored. I'm also not creatively stimulated either. Like it's also another thing if you're like making really cool shit and it's like inspiring, you know. But like these people just post like the most mid things. Like they post the most mid like content, I guess. Like nothing out of the box, nothing extraordinary. I don't know. So I'm like, what is the point like of being this mysterious artist vibe? I don't understand. If you're not making anything revolutionary, you know, you're just posting what everyone else posts. I'm like, okay, boring. Like boring, you know? Like it's one thing to post what everyone else is posting, but also be personal and also be relatable, also be funny, versus just being like, I don't know, like any other white bitch. Sorry if you're white. I love you. Thank you for listening. I love you so much. Why do we want to be this? Why do I want to be this? Why do we think this is hot? And I think it's just like a toxic mindset. Like I still like think, oh, like mysterious people are attractive, they're hot. But I think it's the unknown that's what's hot. And that's like a really toxic mindset on I want something I can't have. I want something I know nothing about. Like that is fucking toxic. Here's another example that's like I think will help differentiate. There's like real natural mysteriousness, such as someone who does not have social media and is just living their life. That is one type of mysteriousness where I'm like, ooh, okay, that is cool. That is actually like the real thing because that's authentic. It's like someone who genuinely just doesn't like social media and is just living their life. And there's a mysterious aspect to that because they're not on social media, so you don't see what they're doing. That is some actual authentic mysteriousness that is actually what we should be achieving and going for. Okay, that kind of mysterious. Not this curated mysteriousness where you post like a very desaturated photo on Instagram that's like blurry. Two totally different types of mysteriousness, and I think that puts in perfect perspective what I'm talking about here. Moving on to getting deep in the passenger's seat. This is the segment where I answer you guys' questions and give you guys advice on anything you guys want. If you guys would like to ask me a question or need advice on anything, you can ask me on Patreon because that's where I get my questions from. So check out the Patreon if you want to do that. This question is from Skya. Did you have a dream that you have given up on to allow more space for the dreams you are currently pursuing? I think for the most part, the dreams I'm pursuing now are the dreams I've always wanted to pursue, such as the whole content creation thing, such as music. Music has always been my end goal. Like that is where I want to end up. Like that has always been my dream. But I will say I have let go of a few things to allow more space and time for that because being a person like I am such a, I guess, jack of all trades where I love everything and anything creative. I love dancing. I love music. I love art. I love painting, drawing. I love fashion. I love, all of that. Acting, even. I got into acting 2 years ago. And I thought I was actually going to fall into that more this past year. I thought I was going to focus on it a little bit more, but I ended up not. Just because acting is like a full-time gig. Like that's so much work and time that I just didn't have time for. So I kind of let go of that a little bit. Um, but other things is like growing up, like I thought I was gonna be an artist. Ever since elementary school, like I've been drawing since I was a little kid. I thought I was going to be an artist. I was going to like, go to art school and just be an artist. And I did let go of that pretty early on because, first of all, I don't really know how you make money as an artist unless you're like an entrepreneur and you like have your own little shop and you sell stuff or like, I don't know. But when it comes to like galleries and stuff like that, I have no idea how that works still. But I will say, I think that's kind of a dream that I did kind of give up to allow more space to do like content creation, to do music. Even now, like I don't really have that much time to paint and stuff. It's more of a hobby that I'm trying to focus more on this year, which I'm actually making a hobbies video on YouTube, so hopefully that'll be up soon. But that's more for fun though. It's not really going to be a career thing. On the more positive note though, is like with the things I'm pursuing now, like music, like YouTube and stuff like that, I can incorporate the artist side of me. I can like a lot of my drawings, like I can incorporate my doodles, my drawings and stuff like that. Having that artistic ability is really, really useful when it comes to the things I do. So I'm really, really grateful for that. So I still get to somewhat incorporate that dream in. I think that's the wonderful thing about the creative and entertainment space is you get to you're able to mosh all these things together in different aspects to your dream, such as for music. I can, for example, like incorporate my own art into my music or into like merch even. I can like draw my own designs and that's a way for me to fulfill that artist dream of mine. Which, speaking of merch, I do have tote bags, which if you guys want to get that, it's on Depop. I made them like like maybe a year ago, and they're really really cute. So if you guys want those, they have a little doodle on them that I drew because I do have like a few left in a suitcase right now in my closet. So if you guys want a tote bag, go check it out. It's listed on Depop. Moving on, this question is from G. This is really random, but was there any differences between clubbing slash nightlife in Europe versus the US? Anything that surprised you? I think it's because I was talking about clubbing in Europe in my Mastering the Art of Being Alone podcast. So if you guys haven't listened to that, go listen to that. But I told a story about how I went clubbing alone in Florence, Italy. As for differences between clubbing and nightlife in Europe, I didn't see like too much of a difference, honestly. Honestly, nothing really surprised me. Like, it's pretty similar. I feel like the nightlife is still pretty similar, at least the places I went to. Granted, I was really, really drunk a lot of the time when I went out, so I don't really remember that well. But for what I remember, it's all pretty much the same. Like dancing, drinking. There's nothing that crazy that happens. I guess there's some more frisky clubs that are available, but I also feel like that's also available in the US, but it's just more common in abroad. But other than that, like I don't think there was cover charges. That's cool. But even in some places in the US, like in LA, I rarely ever had to pay. I never paid a cover charge in LA for clubs. On Ox this week, we have Atlantis by Bridget Mendler. I have been a Bridget Mendler fan for so long, and I know everyone's on that Bridget Mendler wave now that she's like a rocket scientist or whatever. But genuinely, even back in high school, like early high school, I was gonna go to her concert for her EP. Like, I've asked any of my friends, I've always been a Bridget Mendler stan. Not even just Ready or Not, not just Hurricane, like genuinely her entire discography, I have been obsessed with. Like, I've always loved. And recently, I've been listening to Atlantis by Bridget Mendler again. And just her music in 2016 was so ahead of her time, like so good. I need her to make music again. I know she's like older now and like a rocket scientist and a mother, but I'm like, girl, come back. Come back, make some music, girl. Please, please. I love you, Bridget. As for movies, I watched A Real Pain this week and The Wild Robot. A Real Pain. I watched them because they're like Oscar nominated or whatever, but also I was just interested. A Real Pain, it was okay. Like, I think it was a good movie. It just didn't really hit home for me personally. But I think it was still pretty good. It still visually was stunning. The Wild Robots was pretty good. Like a really good animation. I don't think it was like life changing, but I think it was really, really good, honestly. Like really, really sweet. I would watch it. I recommend The Wild Robot. As for TV, I've been watching High Potential, and I've really been enjoying that a lot. I love any like crime solving murder mystery. I love it. I think it just stimulates my brain in the right way. Also, it's kind of just like a ripoff of Psych. And if you guys haven't seen Psych, I highly recommend Psych. It's a really, really good show. If you guys like High Potential, you'll like Psych. Psych is like I probably the originator of High Potential. And Queer Eye. I did not know there was a new season of Queer Eye, and when I went to go watch it, I noticed I didn't even watch the last season. Like, when did the last season even come out? I feel like the promotion for Queer Eye is so bad, and I love that show. So now I'm watching it again, and trying to catch up. Oh, also a few more things on Ox that I've been listening to. A World Alone by Lorde. I've also been listening to that unreleased song Busy Woman by Sabrina Carpenter. Someone posted it on Spotify. And also, of course, my new cover art. That's what's on Ox this week. Busy woman all the time. Anyway, that is all for the podcast today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for listening and parking your butt with me today. If you guys have any other topics you guys would like me to talk about, leave them in the comments and I'll check them out. And if you guys would also like to join my Patreon for extra content, every single week I post a 30-minute extended episode. So after I finish recording this, I'll leave the camera on for 30 more minutes and I'll post that on Patreon. So give me a 5-star rating if you guys want to as well. That would be really cool. And I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much. Bye.